We can do a little bit heavier against some of the mech that's going to be out on the field. So really interesting army build. Banglings, Zerglings, Roaches, Infestors, Mutas, Ultras. I'm just throwing down the tech playbook. And 44 Harvesters, not horrible considering that this is mined out right now, like if I'm doing that off a 2 base, but the saturation on that base is just so terrible, and it's barely acceptable right here. And I could be using those Overlords. I actually did drop and see my Changeling over here, and he is going to give me a really good idea about what's going on in the enemy base over here right now. But I am aware of this over here. You can see this missile turret has a kill. He killed one of my mutas I sent over. So right now, I think the reason why I'm continuing to mass mutas is I know I've got to take this out. Where I figure I'm better off massing mutas instead of getting this eventual sack upgrade, which takes forever to do and is actually pretty expensive as far as an upgrade goes. Kind of one of my gripes against it is it just costs so much, but this is actually one of those slow gases right here where you can have one more worker on that gas to get maximum output from it. So I will be throwing down another expansion over here just because I know I've got map control. I've got my army sitting out, he's walling back off because his army just really isn't that big right now, like if we go back and take a look at it. You know, I've outspent him by a decent amount as far as that goes, and that's because he's committing to this Marine Marauder tank build. Very few medevacs, a few Vikings out on the field just to try to stop some of my air, but I don't know if it's because he thoroughly intended to win the game with that first push, and then was kind of like, whoa, wait, what do I do now? I'm not really quite sure, and I don't want to discredit him because he's been playing very well so far, but the game is slowly slipping away from him as my army gets closer and closer to that 200 food count, and he's only at about that one, you know, he's still under 150, so I'm going to be sending out this massive amount of Mutalisks now. Right here, I've got almost 24 Mutas. This is definitely critical mass of these guys. The only thing that these guys really have to fear from a Terran opponent is mass stimmed Marines, and if we take a look at this, we're completely lacking a stim pack. And the second thing is Thors. There's also no Thors on the field, so mass Vikings can be pretty good, but Mutas, you can see right here, they just get in close and they rip it apart, so even though I'm losing some Mutas and some of them are getting pretty badly torn up right now, the benefit of this is just huge because there go the workers, you know, you will push out a few more Marines, and then the orbital command is going to fall right after that, and that's just a huge pickup. I've got another expansion going on down here just because I know that at this point he hasn't expanded, and I don't know if I've ever checked it out over here. Nope, I've never checked that, so I shouldn't say that he hasn't expanded. I could have expected that he would have expanded over there, but I just figured at this point that I would have known if he would have expanded, and right here, I completely missed this, and I'm going to take this back by about, oh, where was that? Right there. And pause this for 1 second right here. So, while I was focusing down his base over here, he's like, you know what? The hell with you. I'm going to use Cloak Banshees. You know, I'm going to use these early game harassing units, and I'm just going to decimate your ground army, so I don't know if he scanned me and I missed it, or if, you know, he just has great game sense. He might, but, you know, even though I was committing a lot to the Mutas right here, if I wouldn't have committed so much to these Infestors and these Ultras, I could have had another dozen Mutas out, and these Banshees wouldn't have mattered that much, but the fact that I've got Roaches, Infestors, and what he does right here is just so cool. He actually targets my Infestors because he knows that these guys, there's no detection here. Those are the guys that will cast Fungal Growth, reveal them, and then my Mutas will eat them alive. But right here, let's go over here to the units lost, the best way to show it. And just watch that tick up right there. Just watch the kills that these guys are getting. Because there's so many Banshees right there, and I do have some Overseers coming in over here. But just look at them rack up the kills right there. That is absolutely ridiculous. Like if I pause this, 2 kills, 4 kills, 6 kills, 10 kills, 3. I mean, that's just an awesome pickup for him right there, but, you know, now he's going to fly away because the Overseer's there, but these guys, the Banshees, their move speed, they're actually quite a bit slower than the Mutas, and the Mutas can catch them, so he's going to lose quite a heavy number of the Banshees right here. But just a great little pickup from his ground troops right there. And I pull these guys back just because I'm not really quite sure what I lost. I'm just trying to assess what just happened there, because I know that I took out this expansion over here, but I was completely blindsided by that, just like I was blindsided by it in the review. And he's actually just great movement right here. He's got these Vikings, and his plan is to use the Vikings to snipe these Overseers, because they're so good at doing that. but I've got enough mutas there where it's not really going to matter as far as that goes. And move these guys up here. Will take a few more losses. You can see this has been very cost-effective for him. I think I've lost almost 3,000 units worth of resources to these Banshee attacks, so great pickup. Let's go back to the income tab right here, 45 to 27. And I did migrate a lot of my workers from this space over here to this space over here, and realistically, I could be doing a better job at saturating, but right now I could be doing a better job at spending as well, but I'm really focused on controlling my army. If we take a look at the APMs right here, you know, I'm really just trying to get into position because I feel that I can move in and I can probably do an attack. If we check out the unit tab right here, 85 Zerglings, 22 Overlords, 3 Ultras, Mutas, Roaches, Banglings. But these tanks, this is just going to be crazy. These guys are just, this is Christmas for them. They're just killing everything in there. Even the Ultras, they don't do that well against the tanks unless they're up there. But I've got Mutas to fly over here to take out these tanks. The high ground lets the Roaches shoot at them with that awesome mid-4 range. And these Ultras over here, they just get in. They're just going to start chomping SCVs like chomp, chomp, nom, 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 nom is kind of what they're saying. But all the Marines and the Vikings actually made short work of my Mutalisks. My Zerglings are all dead. The only thing I've got left is a couple Ultras just numbing away at everything over here. And their pathfinding just... I feel like the Ultras and their pathfinding need a little bit of work, but, you know, it's just because these units, they're so big. You know, it's tough to control a unit that's big. But look how long it takes for the Marines to kill that guy. I do have the Chickness Plating upgrade for them, and I do have a +1 attack upgrade. Something cool for your Mutas, drop that +1 attack right away, because it makes more of a difference. And if you see right here, I've already come really close to rebuilding my army. As far as it goes, that's the power of Zerg right there versus him. Not having that expansion, me having the map control in this entire half of the map completely Zergified. It's just not that easy for him to rebuild that. His hero tanks that probably have like a bajillion kills apiece for them, they're gone. But what I was saying about the Mutas, base damage on these guys is 931. For the first attack, the second bounce, the third bounce, this actually makes it 1042. Now, when you get attack grade number 2, it makes it 1142. Number 3 is 1242. I don't understand the math, but I tested it in the one player unit testing ground against Marines, and that first attack actually doubles, you know, or not doubles, but it makes the bounces that much more effective. And if you're dealing with unarmored units like Marines, like Vikings, that can make a huge difference, but armor actually helps negate that bounce quite a bit, actually. So setting up a tank here, he's got a lot of Vikings, he's got some Banshees, because he figures that that worked out well for him before. If he can shut down my air with the Vikings, which is a good call, he'll be able to then shut down my ground with the Banshees, because I'm not deploying Hydras. But if you look at what's going to happen right here, these Mutas just absolutely annihilate the Vikings. It's almost not even a contest between the two of them. They do a lot of damage, but they fire slow, and then moving this in right here, that guy's gone. My Ultras are going to come in here. They're just going to numb away at everything. Fighting, Zerglings swarming. You know, actually run through here, and now that I'm inside the base, I've got the Ultras here. It's just looking pretty grim for him at this point. You know, I'm actually skimming right past this base. There's no need to kill this expansion, because I'm, at this point, confident that he hasn't expanded anywhere else. I know that I just need to take down the tech structures. If I can drop them, then I'm going to be able to win this game. I'll be able to end it right now. It doesn't really make sense for my Zerglings to be attacking these supply depots, because I'd have to kill almost every single one of them to supply cap my opponent right here. But the Ultras just go into town, ripping these buildings apart. You know, they do a lot of damage, a lot of splash to the units around them. And these Roaches over here, they're like, we're the cool kids. We're just going to spit at the Circle Command. We don't want to hang with the crowd. So they're like either the cool Roaches or the emo Roaches. Take your pick. It's all really the same thing when it comes down to it. But Marauder over here is like, wow, I'm glad I wasn't over there. And he actually did commit those Vikings to a battle. And right over here, this is going to be the last hurrah right here. This dropship coming in. Will he be able to get those troops out in time to do something? 1, 2, 3, 4, and the Marines just get eaten up. That's game right there. He leaves. No GG. I would have liked to have seen a GG, but the reason why I thought this game was cast-worthy is just because good creep spread really helped me win this game, and just some cool tech switches. Overall, very fun game. One of the longer games that goes more into a mid-game, going to late-game style play. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. This is Malikicowtipper, signing out.